What's happening with it? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. Back again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Now, this was, in my opinion, a highly anticipated match that had took place because of all the trash talking and the antics that had taken place when we talk about one Rolly aka Rolando um, Romero, and of course Gavante Tank Davis. Um, Look, Rolly, he he came out very aggressive. Okay, uh, you know, Gavante Davis wasn't really wasn't really he was staying patient. That's what you have to appreciate about the the maturation process of Tank Davis. Now, I have been very critical of Tank. Don't get me wrong, I am a Tank fan. Don't let's not get it twisted. But I've been also very critical of him in terms of uh him doing things too fast, too quick. But in the last couple of fights, what you have to appreciate about Tank is his versatility, and he often gets criticized about him not being a boxer and him not being able to be composed and him not being able to not do the showmanship. Well, he displayed that last night, and Rolando was pretty much trying to force him and hold him. Uh, even after a couple of power shots. Uh, you know, it seemed like Rolly was gonna actually make it to the end of the fight, but that counter left hook had came with 21 seconds into the sixth round, and I mean, it was vicious. Okay, now it was very quick, but it was vicious. So, and when you slow it down, just like from looking right here, uh, just pretty much just he had opened himself up for pretty much uh damage that could have taken place. Now, I'm gonna say this though. Uh Rolly, you gotta give him credit for trying to sell this fight and for trying to make it entertaining and stuff. But a couple of people had called it. I think I want to say Monty Brown on TV. Shout out to him. He had he had said that it wasn't going to go past. This fight was not going to last that long. Now, I wasn't for sure how long the fight would last. I didn't make any predictions for the simple fact that Rolly did have some experience in terms of martial arts experience. What's up with it, Jacob? I see you in the building. He timed it very perfectly, and this is my thing too. Tank. He's gonna go ahead. He's gonna stay with Mayweather, and he said that they sold that fight. I agree. Yeah, they did. They sold the fight. It was a very entertaining fight. I think what Rolly has to do, he has to just needs to calm down a little bit. I give props to Rolly. He's he got in there. Now, if he had kind of just settled down just a little bit, even though I was saying the previous fight with Isaac Cruz got criticized because he I guess he was holding Tank a lot. I didn't see that much of holding or whatever, but uh, I think this is what people wanted to see. They wanted to see Tank knock somebody out. But as I've explained before, and I'll say it again, every fight is not going to be meant to be a knockout or a TKO or or even a stoppage for that matter. Okay, there's going to be some time. Well, we'll remain to see, but there might be some times when Tank has to go the full distance with the fighter, like the one that comes right to your head that you could think of that could possibly go to the distance that I think a lot of people are probably disagreeing with me on this is if he fights a guy like Devin Haney. I think that would definitely go the distance unless Tank finds some way to get that left. Okay, because that's his power. That's his powerful arsenal. Whether it's the uppercut left, or whether it's the that vicious left hook. I like him to could work on his defense a little more with his jab. Yeah, his but the thing I like I got you have to appreciate about Tank, as I say again, is his you could tell. See, I've watched him, and I've watched him, him maturate, Jacob. And from watching Tank, and from looking at him, you could definitely see the difference from him when he first began, because he was doing a lot of showboating when he was in this fight right here. He was composed, just waiting for that final shot, and it sent him good night. What's up with it, Steven? I see you in the building. Uh, you know, what's up with it, Andover Sandalot? And I disagree with you. Uh, it doesn't matter about height. Mayweather wasn't that tall. He was still able to work the jab. Um, Pernell Whitaker wasn't that tall. He was able to work the jab. So height doesn't really matter. He could still he could still work the jab, and he could still get inside, and still be able to mix it up. But the thing is, like what Jacob had brought up, is about the defense. He I felt like he's gotten better, but like I said, it comes with maturation. It comes with evolving as a fighter. Uh, Now you said, Polo, I lost 100 bucks on Tank, and Rolly got it down. Why would you bet on? Why would you? Did you bet on Rolly, Steven? Not necessarily, man. It's just all about. Well, look, Mayweather was still technical and stuff, and and a lot of people would say, okay, yeah, well, he couldn't do this or he couldn't do that, and he still was able to land accurate shots. Okay, neither one of them were extremely tall, and over. So, uh, you know, we can't sit here and we can't always dictate, okay, the arm reach or anything like that, because there's going to be some times when you're going to have to walk guys down. Um, I give you a perfect example though. Uh, Shakur Stevenson, okay, who in my opinion he's next up right now. Shakur Stevenson, his reach isn't all that all that uh all that far, but he's mastered the mid range, and that's his range is so evolved right now. I would say his range is the best right now in the game right now. Earl Spence, his reach is not all that far, even though Earl is clearly, he's 5'9.5", 5'10" or whatever, but he doesn't have an extremely long reach or whatever. But he's still able to work his jab. So there's several boxers that you could see on here that or that you could see in the game right now that are able to utilize the jab with some I'm not gonna call it handicaps, but with things working against them. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, as long as you're able to master the range. I mean, Shakur Stevenson right now is a prime example. He's not the tallest guy in the world. Shakur Stevenson is nothing but 5'8", 5'7", even though he's clearly taller than him. But I will tell you this though, Tank is gonna have to, he's staying with Mayweather and everything. So now he's really gonna have to take the fight because everybody's saying that he has a reputation for well, he doesn't want to fight this guy. He doesn't want to fight that guy. I don't agree with that. I think Tank does want those fights. Tank does want the smoke. I don't think he's ducking any type of smoke, you know. And I guarantee you that Tank will step in there. Now, do I think that he can beat a Devin Haney? No, I don't think so. Not on purely. If we're talking about purely boxing and skill, no. But if we're talking about like a situation where he's going to set him up, he could possibly get the win. That's just my personal opinion. Okay. Do I believe that Shakur Stevenson could get him? Absolutely. I believe that Shakur Stevenson can beat anybody right now because Shakur Stevenson is so accurate. Shakur Stevenson hasn't lost a round in I don't know how many fights. So right now, I don't see anybody beating Shakur Stevenson, even if because Shakur Stevenson is such a conglomerate of everything, So, but this fight right here was it was very entertaining. He Rolly is an entertaining guy, and that's what they wanted. They wanted some, they wanted the antics. They wanted to see Tank, pushing him off of the stage and stuff like that. Right. Yeah. Well, his father was took over though, Jacob. Okay. Yeah, Mayweather. He started off, but it was really Bill Haney. Bill Haney has clearly evolved him as a fighter. So I mean, we could say Daddy Mayweather and all this other stuff, but it was really Bill Mayweather, Billy Mayweather that has brought the best out of him. And he wasn't the only one. There's been you got Zab Judah, who is his godfather in his corner. So, and yeah, Shakur Stevenson, he's everything that. Okay, I put it to you like this, and I know some people they're gonna trip out when I say this. Okay, and you could like my opinion or you could hate my opinion. Shakur Stevenson is a shorter version of Muhammad Ali. Okay, he's a shorter version of Muhammad Ali, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, Shakur Stevenson, he's got pizzazz, he's got swag, he's got charisma, drip, all that stuff, everything that you want to call it or whatever. Okay, we know that. Uh, he's hard to hit. He's really hard to hit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he got a pull counter. He's got the range. He's got the jab. He could slip and dip and make you miss, and then pow, good night every now and again. Like how he was doing Jamal Herring or Jamel Herring was just ridiculous. And he everybody talks about, oh yeah, he doesn't have any foot. Yes, he does. He can move around when necessary, and because that was the problem when he fought Valdez. Or everybody was like, oh yeah, well he was running and all this other stuff. No, he wasn't. He wasn't running. That's just good footwork. But that was something that they said that he couldn't do. And then they're all like, "Oh well, Shakur isn't powerful." Yes, he is. Look at the man's face. Look at the man's face compared to the other opponent's face. And he stopped the fight too. So obviously he has respectable power. Yeah, but yeah, nah. I mean that was probably a sympathy round. He clearly dominated that fight with ease, hands down. He dominated that fight. Just like they tried to give rounds to Canelo. Canelo got dominated. Just handed to him. And that's another guy that a lot of people are talking about. Bill Bivol had good range. He has good mid range. I'm not gonna say it's as good as Shakur Stevenson because Shakur Stevenson has the top mid range in the game right now. Yeah, he'll move up to welterweight. What we're trying to keep an eye on right now is what the Charlos is gonna do. I want listen. I want Jamal, not Jermel, Jamal Charlo to start making his presence felt and start fighting some people because that's been the stigma on him. His brother right now is clearly the best right now. Of course he's unified and everything, and so uh his brother is smoking him with flying colors. Now it's time for Jamal to 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 start fighting some of these people. But see, you love it or hate it about a guy like Shakur Stevenson or like a Canelo or even a Devin Haney. These guys are out here taking risk. They're out here taking risk, and they're putting everything out on the line no matter what. And everybody's so afraid to lose a O, but you can't listen. That's not what boxing is about. Yeah, exactly. Not well. Uh, Jamel Charlo did. Castano. I'm gonna be honest with you. He had that first fight, but they pretty much they gave it a draw or whatever. But everybody knows that he won that fight. I don't think he's gonna go down. If listen, if he does go down to 168, a lot of people feel like Canelo should just go ahead and just backdoor and just right away just go ahead and fight Bivol. I feel the same way. A lot of people feel like what why is he fighting Triple G? But uh, you gotta think about there have been other fighters that have done that too. So it's unfair to just criticize him. But a lot of people just want him to just run it back right away or whatever. It's when he wants to. But I think it'll be a similar result because Bivens was one of the top. This wasn't a cherry pick, okay? I want people to understand that he was one of the top fighters in the world. He was undefeated, and I think his last like three fights, uh, he had did exceptionally well. So Bivol, and I think he's one of the top ranked defenders. One of the top rated had one of the top rated defenses at that 175 class. Rolly should not rematch. I mean, it'll be the same result. I mean, probably even quicker because the only thing that Davis was doing was really pretty much, if you really want to be honest, is just carrying the fight pretty much. And I mean, he was just staying patient and staying composed. Everybody was like, "Oh wow, Rolly," and Rolly tried his best to become aggressive. But see, if you really understand boxing and you really understand the science of it and stuff, a a lot of times these guys will come out, swinging and doing all this stuff or whatever, and it makes it seem like they're hitting the opponent, but in actuality, they're really not. And there a lot of those shots are not even landing, but it looks like they were, but they really weren't. That's why you got to give his credit. You got to give him credit for you know his defense and staying composed and his poise too. So on that note, uh, what did you say? You said Bivol is a solid light heavyweight or cruiserweight. Yeah, he is solid, man. He's a lot of people thought that you know, he was going to be slept on. There were a couple people that I know that had actually chose Bivol. You know, there were a couple people that gave Bivol a shot. And the thing about it is that he wasn't even the biggest. He wasn't even the biggest cruiser. I'm sorry about that. The biggest 175 that Canelo had fought. So we can't say that he was all that big because Kovalev was bigger than than Bivol. So and he knocked Kovalev out. So it's just that his understanding of and his technique was so much more better than Canelo's, man. And yeah, I mean he had Canelo frustrated, but I believe that Canelo will bounce back. You know, I know some people are like, oh yeah, well you got to eat your words now, Polo, and everything like that. Look, the man is human. The man is human. The man is human, and anybody can be beat on any given night. You know what I'm saying? Some people can be beat, some people will remain undefeated though. So, but besides that, man, I appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notification. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. I'll get at you later.